Today is the best day of my life because I have found clarity in my purpose. John Dee has found his purpose in life, and he's going to share it with you. John has a lot of goals for himself. They're pretty selfish, and that's okay. But he also has a lot of goals for the people around him, the people he loves, and he also has a lot of goals for the world, and a lot of his goals are ambitious. He likes them. They're all in areas which compound infinitely, and they're all related to self-actualization, which is wonderful. But John didn't have a way that synchronetically tied all of the goals together, right? He has goals in health, wealth, relationships, happiness, spirituality, etc., etc., etc. Reading, writing, intelligence, articulation, ability to write. You know, all these goals which are fantastic and wonderful because they are things worth pursuing, and anything worth pursuing is, or anything that is worth pursuing is worth pursuing no matter what it takes. And things that are worth pursuing are generally things which are long-term games. Most of the things you want out of life only come out of long-term games, and they only come out of endeavors which compound infinitely over time and give you leverage, right? You want your work to work for you, and not just in money, but also in fitness and relationships, blah 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 blah. Now, how does John think that him, being one of the best squatters in the country, and being an amazing husband, and attaining divine oneness, maybe he's already gotten there, but how does he think that all these things are going to be tied together, and how does this match up with the meaning of life? The meaning of life is simply to further what humanity is capable of, and then pass down the knowledge you've acquired to the next generation so they can get to where you got a lot faster than you did, and then they can spend the rest of their lives continuing to further what humanity is capable of. Thus, we get farther and farther with each generation. There are other meanings to life and other meanings you can give them, but this is one of the ones which is self-evident, for without this meaning, we would not be where we are today. We're only here because other people gave their lives to a task and passed the knowledge down to us so we could get to where they got faster, and we just continue that over and over again. And not only does it make your life more meaningful to do this, but it's also out of respect for the people who've done it for you that we need to do it, and out of duty to the next generation, we owe it to them. But what does this have to do with John? Well, John wants to find a way to tie all his greedy goals with all his selfless meaning of life goals. And he's found a way. He's found a way. Isn't that marvelous? Now, what is it? How can John tie everything together? He likes to get more out of his work and find the overlapping areas of all the area of his life so that he has to do less work. He's not lazy, he's just efficient. But I'll tell you, I'm going to create the book which has all the understandings you need to get to wherever you want to in any of the areas worth pursuing in life. It would be a lot like the Vertical Diet, which is something which will enhance your understanding of dieting and achieving what you want physically, but it'd be like the Vertical Diet on steroids, right? The Vertical Diet teaches you about health and nutrition, and it's very 80-20 and holistic, which is what I want for everything. So it'd be like that, but for every aspect of fitness, power, speed production, building muscle, cutting, and then we'd have that same thing for sales and wealth creation and relationships and being a parent and leading and writing and reading and anything else worth pursuing. Because what I would love is to give that book to someone who's 10 and be like, if you read this and do this for 10 years, you will be so much farther ahead than you would be otherwise, and your life will be infinitely better because of it. That's because I wish that I had met someone or been given something like that when I was young, or had some type of guidance in the right direction so that I could have gotten more out of my life than I already have. And I think that's I'm not trying to be anyone, but if I were trying to be someone, I'd be trying to be someone I wish I'd met, or I wish I could meet. You know, I think that if we all try to be someone we wish we could meet, the world would be a better place. And despite what a lot of people say about the world's problems, it always comes down to people. And that's not blaming people, it's just saying that if there's a confliction of the self or problems in the self, you know, in an individual, then that's reflected in society, especially when those problems are scaled. And that's no blame to the individuals, that's just something that we need to address, and it's a problem, it's a group of people we need to help, not only for the sake of the people, but for the sake of humanity and the world and the future. And John hopes to accomplish this through his book and helping people have a better life, for them, for him, for the world. That is about it. John Dee is very, very excited, and you will be hearing from him again shortly.